My entry-level employee gave me a bunch of off-base constructive criticism. I am a manager in a smaller group, less than 20 people in a huge firm. The hierarchy is pretty firmly established by my firm, but within my group, my directors have given me a lot of freedom and I oversee all of the staff and on occasion other managers who do not have the same authority over the junior employees. The expectation is that I will be the head of our group in a few years if I want it. I have a junior staff person who has been with the group less than 2 years who recently took it upon themselves to give me some constructive criticism about my management. None of which was actually relevant or constructive. I did consider it and actually discussed it with said bosses and they were all confused as to where it came from, as well as displeased this employee thought it was somehow appropriate or relevant. The criticism was along the lines of, I get in the office too late, I get there at 9, for what it's worth, like everyone else. But I actually don't have set hours nor do I punch a time clock. I let people spend too much time in my office, which related to a new hire who I was training. I hog the spotlight by training new people myself, a big part of my job since I have 2 advanced degrees, and I'm training entry-level grads and not letting others do it. I talk to my bosses confidentially too much. I undermine my bosses when I help staff finish something before a big deadline if they're struggling again. Part of my job, our deadlines are firm and if someone can't finish a project, I will help them finish however necessary. But somehow this is rude to whomever assigned the work even though scope and difficulty level isn't always apparent at the outset of the project and sometimes there's just no way the staff could finish it on their own. We already have twice yearly reviews where this employee could give feedback to my boss about me, but they thought that my boss wouldn't do a good enough job, which, what? I usually welcome feedback, especially if it makes the office run more smoothly. And I know I don't know everything, but this seemed petty and like a personal attack. I'm also very careful to treat all my coworkers equally, no favorites, no cliques, no gossip. When it happened, I was shocked and not sure how to respond, so the conversation happened and I thanked them for bringing their concerns to me. I'm worried this employee now feels they can give me performance reviews whenever they have a grievance, which is definitely not how my organization works and has never happened before that I know of. In the future, how do I head off this kind of conversation from the staff I manage? How do I impress it is completely inappropriate for an entry-level employee to do this type of thing to any boss they have without throttling them? For what it's worth, this person has a huge entitlement and attitude problem, which I have addressed with them several times, but they refuse to try to improve. They're actively resentful of other employees and we had to address very recently their bullying another coworker who they thought had it too easy. Not that the work was too easy, but they didn't have to fight for their job. Neither has this problem employee so. I'm inclined to just write it off as projecting, but I know this person pretty well. And I think I will need to shut it down hard next time or they will think they are entitled to scold me and keep doing it. Update. I remember writing my letter and being incredibly frustrated because I couldn't fire her without making a massive stink and throwing my weight around. The joys of middle management. The coworker she was bullying happened to be much quicker to learn our processes and had a better attitude than she did, and the problem employee began actively excluding her and being snarky and rude whenever they encountered each other. After I wrote in and read all the replies, I realized that keeping this person around was ruining the culture of the office, and even though firing her was outside of my control, she didn't have to be my problem. I began documenting thoroughly every single problematic interaction I had with her or observed and passing it on to all 3 of the grand bosses who did have the ability to let her go and CCing HR. They very quickly got tired of having to micromanage her tantrums and attitude once I stopped handling the issues for them. I left that job shortly after for unrelated reasons, and last I heard she got herself fired. The bullying never got better and I've refused to give references for this person when contacted. This happened early in my management career, and since then I've learned that if I don't have the ability to fire someone, I don't have the responsibility to fix their behavior either. I make it the problem of the people who do and keep bringing it back to them over and over until they handle it.